From the get-go, I want to say that Citrine went way above my expectations. It's a self-sufficient warframe that can be a very good support, can tank a lot, and can help everyone's damage. I'm yet to encounter an obvious flaw while playing her. She's so strong and comfy to play. Now to briefly go over her kit. Her passive heals everyone in affinity range. Starts off with 5 HP per second, and as you collect health orbs, it goes up to 25. Which does not sound like much, but when combined with her second ability, which gives 90% damage reduction to everyone, then that healing becomes way more solid. Her first ability triggers some procs and makes enemies drop health orbs and energy orbs, and a lot of them. Her third is kinda like a beam turret that hits enemies around and primes them for all the primary elementals, and increases status viability of everyone's weapons. Her 4 is combination of Harrow's 4 and his 1, holds enemies in place and increases critical chance on them. A half of her kit is centered around status, so it's fair to say that she's intended to be used with Condition Overload and similar galvanized mods. Her first ability spawns piles of health and energy orbs, and for all intents and purposes, we can say that she has infinite energy to spam that ability, so everyone around her has about the same energy economy. Her second ability is pretty much something that should be active all the time. You can quickly reach 90% damage reduction regardless of the ability strength you have, but if you want that 90% off the get-go, then at least 225% ability strength is needed. And I'd say those two are the foundation of her kit. Her third ability is very strong, but more situational as it works in that general area. So for a defense or interception or stuff like that, it's insane, but for exterminate, I use it like once or twice when I encounter a room full of enemies. Her 4 is strong with criticals as you get a critical chance override to 300%. You hit a crystal, you get a ginger crit. I ended up with this build for now, and there are a few variations that can be of use. Because of her next to infinite energy, I went with Blind Rage. With Umbral Intensify and Molt Augmented, that gives me more than enough ability strength. I say that because there's a lot of range, stretch and overextended. Those two combined give about 30-meter range for her first and her third ability, which works well in most styles. Arcane Blessing, Health Conversion, and Equilibrium are there to make use of all the orbs spawned by her first ability. Some duration is there, mostly for her second, and some flow because her base energy pool is way too low. I didn't get to mess around with changing auras. I don't think there's too obvious of a choice there. Now, I have Archon mods in, but their benefit is next to non-existent, but they are better than base mods, so if you can put them on, then there's no reason not to. But if you can't, there's nothing to sweat about. Gains are extremely hard to see. Her third ability is the only one that triggers them, so it's extremely situational. I didn't use any Archon shards, but casting speed is definitely something I want to put on. This is kinda all-around build, and you can specialize it from there, like use more ability strength and ditch Molt Augmented to get that 90% damage reduction from the get-go. Ditch Overextended and use Adaptation with Arcane Guardian to get your damage reduction over 99% because reasons. She's versatile, so I don't think it's too hard to build her to be viable. Citrine works. The only piece of criticism I have is towards Pablo creating the same warframe over and over and over again, just making it slightly better each time. Almost all his frames have pretty much the same kits, with one ability being different. For example, Harrow and Garuda both have their first ability as Shield, second Healing, third ability Energy Battery, fourth ability is Buff/Debuff. Then Protea puts their second and third ability into Dispensary, and ever since, it's both Varuna and Citrine that have the same ability doing that thing, spawning health orbs and energy orbs. So I would like to see him evolve a little bit. I know there's 50 warframes and it's hard to make a unique one, but these are all way too similar. But again, Citrine works really well. And with such an insane priming potential, I feel like Wisp is being challenged as a support frame. Citrine's total contribution to damage output of the team is much higher than what Wisp's speed buff does. But you don't get any mobility buff with Citrine, so there's a place for both of them, and I like that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.